I am now live. Hi everybody. எல்லாரும் என்ன பண்றீங்க? Yes. We are telling your followers that you have started a live video. ஐயோ. ரொம்ப நாளா லைஃபே ஜாயின் பண்ணல. திடீர்னு இப்போ லைவ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். இங்க என்னதான் நடக்குது? Hi Priya. Hello everybody for joining me in the live. Today we have a special guest. And அவர் வந்து 1 PM exactly வந்து ஜாயின் பண்ணுவார்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Thank you Mohana Raj. Thank you so much. Danuji. Thank you. Join me in the live. Okay. Let's get started. Welcome Raga. Wonderful. Thank you. Hi.
மார்னிங் எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா இருக்கிறேன். நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா, ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கேன். சண்டே கொஞ்சம் லைட்டா தூக்கத்துல இருக்கேன். பட் எஸ்,
எல்லாருக்கும் அப்படிதான் இருக்குது போல இருக்கு. So first of all, we have to talk about the fact that நம்ம ரெண்டு பேரும் KK.
ஆமா, கரெக்ட்.
நான் இன்னொரு KK கிட்ட நான் பேசுறதே இல்ல. So this is very interesting. What a wonderful day. So next thing is
நீங்க வந்து கேக்க என்னலாம் கஷ்டமான கேள்வி கேட்கலாம்னு இருந்தீங்களோ கேட்டிருக்கீங்க.
Okay, wonderful. இதுக்காக நான் காத்துட்டு இருந்தேன். So next thing is that we have something else in common, which is Shama from Comicstan.
எந்த விதத்துல?
Comicstan, the first season, I think. So after Comicstan, I reached out to her on Instagram because I really connected to her a lot. So, and then I did a show with her for like 1 hour, understanding what's the behind the scenes of Comicstan, enna nadakudhu Comicstan la, and her journey and everything. Wow. And I just recently did another show with her as well to understand, what is life like after Comicstan, ஒரு ஷோல போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் லைக் ஓகே யூ கெட் எல்லாரும் நினைக்கிறாங்க ஓகே நம்ம ஃபேமஸ் ஆயிட்டோம், நம்ம Amazon Primeல வந்தாச்சு, இதுக்கப்புறம் லைஃப் செட். But what is the what happens after that and her stand up journey and everything. So anyway, ரொம்ப பேசிட்டு நினைக்கிறேன். So anyway,
இல்ல ஷாமா பத்தி சொல்லணும் actually, because she is very important to definitely தமிழ் ஸ்டாண்ட் அப் காமெடியை பொறுத்தவரை. அவங்க நல்லா she has to do well in life in order to set an example for a lot of women to take up the mic tomorrow. Because I think when women take up the mic and make people laugh, then their every single voice of theirs gets heard by people. And so I'm glad you started with Shama, because Shama is important to the symptom that is women in comedy.
Yeah. But இப்போ வந்து நீங்க வந்து ஒரு ஷோ ஒரு டூர் நடத்திட்டீங்க, ஆன்ஸ்ப்ளைனிங். இந்த ஷோ கான்செப்ட்லாம் எப்படி வந்துச்சு? Because you see, it's actually a very great time because I was actually watching this movie called The Great Indian Kitchen a few days ago. And அந்த படத்துல அந்த patriarchy, like a patriarchyனா தெரியணும்னா அந்த படத்தை பாருங்க. அந்த லெவலுக்கு வந்து it was like such a movie. It was so brilliant. So what is your definition of patriarchy? And அது பத்தி பேசுறீங்களா?
ஆமாமா, patriarchy is a very simple thing. It's a system developed by the men, of the men, for the men. Right? So which means everybody else other than men, every other gender in the system is basically used by the system for the benefit of the system. Right? Great Indian Kitchen mari ஒரு படம் வந்து it's a serious drama. It is emotionally evoking. It is very very powerful drama. But நிறைய பேர் வந்து எனக்கு வந்து சீரியஸான விஷயம் எல்லாம் பார்க்க வேண்டாம், எனக்கு வந்து அழ வைக்காதீங்க ப்ளீஸ், எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் பார்க்க வேணாம்னு ஒரு மனப்பான்மையில இருப்பாங்க. This show is a show that makes you laugh. If you have been brought up in a South Indian cultural upbringing, then you definitely will enjoy this ansplaining, because it's a show that makes you look back at your own life and laugh a lot. But at the end of laughter, I definitely want people to think, saying, okay, நம்ம இப்படி வளர்ந்துட்டோம், நாளைக்கு வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு குழந்தை பிறந்து அதை வந்து வளர்க்கணும்னா அந்த வளர்ப்பு வந்து வித்தியாசமா இருக்கும். We should change things around சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு தாட்டோட போவாங்கன்னு நான் நம்புறேன். That is the main purpose of the show as such.
Okay. So you see, நம்ம வந்து நானும் சொல்லுகிறேன் comedians னு. So comedians are basically observers. Like they are very good
Yeah,
observers.
yeah,
And sometimes the
yes,
comedy comedy is basically the truth. You're telling the truth and the
yeah.
absurdity of it all. You know, அதுல தான் நம்ம parody வச்சு செய்றோம், நம்ம satire வச்சு செய்றோம். So it's the absurdity in the truth of what we are seeing. That maybe
Correct,
some people are
correct.
பார்த்துட்டு வாழ்ந்துட்டு போறாங்க. So what was that thing, that absurdity or the observation that you had that made you triggered this show?
இந்த ஷோ வந்து ஐ திங்க் ஜஸ்ட் த ஃபேக்ட் தட் நான் வந்து முதல் வாட்டி என்னோட லைஃப்ல வந்து 40 வயசுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் நான் வந்து குக்கிங்கே பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சேன். இன்ஃபேக்ட் லாக்டவுன்ல வந்து குக்கிங் வந்து நிறைய பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சேன். அண்ட் குக்கிங் பண்ண வந்து எனக்கு வந்து நிறைய பேர் வந்து ஓ நீங்க குக்கிங்லாம் பண்றீங்களான்னு ஒரு வியப்போட ஒரு ஒரு சர்ப்ரைஸோட என்ன they approached me with surprise and lot of people started appreciating me for cooking. சாதாரண விஷயம், நம்ம எல்லாருமே கத்துக்க வேண்டிய ஒரு லைஃப் ஸ்கில். ஆனா ஒரு ஆண் மகன் பண்ணும்போது அதுக்கு வந்து எவ்வளவு அப்ரிசியேஷன் பண்றாங்க. ஐயோ சாம்பார்லாம் பண்றீங்களா, ஐயோ ரசம்லாம் பண்றீங்களா. டேய் சாம்பார் ரசம்லாம் 40 வயசுல பண்ணாததான் நீ வந்து குத்த சொல்லணும். பண்றதுக்கே எவ்வளவு அப்படியே அப்படியே தலையில தூக்கி போட்டுனாங்க. ரைட். சோ அந்த விதத்துல வந்து ஐ திங்க் தட் வாஸ் தி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் ஐ ரியலைஸ் தட் ஆக்சுவலி யூ நோ வி men enjoy so many privileges. அங்க வந்து நிறைய வேலை வந்து பண்ணாமே இருக்கும் இந்த சிஸ்டம்ல பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் த ஃபேக்ட் தட் we don't give ourselves these roles. Right, but the bar is set so low for men in society that itself is something you need to laugh at. We have to first acknowledge that the bar is set very low for us. Right, for instance, இப்போ வந்து even if you look at a domestic abuse situation, right, every woman in a domestic abuse situation will be told saying என்ன பெரிய ஒரு வாட்டி அடிச்சா இதுல என்ன பெரிய. Right, that is how low the bar has been set for men's behavior. Right, so I think it is time for us to relook at that and laugh at it. Once you laugh at it, you will do something about it to change yourself or change the world around you. So I think that was the triggering point for me to start this show called Ansplaining, and it's a man explaining what it means to be a man. So it's a man explaining, and since it's a Tamil and English show, it's called Ansplaining.
So when you were writing this show, was it just like, did you like sit around with your friends who are girls and did you get their insight on what is it like or the difference? Do you have sisters? Like, where do you get your information?
Usually when a comedian writes a show right now, we discuss it with other comedians. Okay. Right, இது இந்த ஒரு ஐடியா வச்சிருக்கேன்டா, இது எப்படி எடுத்துட்டு போலாம் ஒரு we will sit with our comedian friends and we will discuss it. This time I did not go to my comedian friends. I went to my friends who are very, very strong feminists, and they are women. Two people called Radhika Ganesh. Radhika is a social political activist, and my friend called Matangi Krishnamurthy, who's a HOD of the anthropology department in IIT Madras. Right, I went to them and I said, I'm writing a comedy show, but I want to understand the representation of men in the gender space. And as a man, I'm going to be talking about being a man. And therefore, on the vidhathla I need to be very, very honest to the men's experience of being a man. And more importantly, I need to be able to understand the woman's experience of how they experience the men in their lives. Right, so my editorial team was filled with women who are very, very strong feminists, and of course my life is filled with women who are extremely strong, intelligent, empowered, whether it's my partner Ramu or whether it's my mother, whether it's my close friends who have been with me all the time. I have always been better off getting advice from the women in my life. எப்பலாம் நான் அந்த அட்வைஸ் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கேனோ, I think என்னோட லைஃப் வந்து பாசிட்டிவான ஒரு மோஷன் மூவ் ஆயிருக்கு. Whenever I've not taken that advice, I know it's my ego kicking in saying நம்ம எதுக்கு கேட்கணும், கேட்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்லையே.
And how long have you been writing this show and crafting it?
I think the idea came to me early 2021, and I started writing it in 2021. And lockdown எப்ப முடியும், கோவிடுக்கு அப்புறம் நம்ம வந்து லைவ் ஷோஸ் பண்ணுவோமாங்கிற ஒரு அன்சர்டனிட்டிலேயே இந்த ஷோ எழுதினேன். And today to actually be able to tour it and to go to Singapore this month and UK in September, he said, for me, it's a dream come true because இதுக்கு முன்னாடிலாம் இந்த சிட்டிஸ்க்குலாம் டூர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். பட் இந்த கோவிட் லாக்டவுன்ல வந்து மேபி இனிமே இந்த டூரிங்லாம் நடக்காதோ அந்த ஒரு பயம் வந்துச்சு. Right? So today to be able to actually tour almost feels like almost like a dream come true. It's like, wow, this is actually happening. So I finished about 21 shows of this show, and I'm very happy to say this is a very satisfying show to perform.
Okay. And usually, when people make a movie or they do a show and they have like ஒரு கதையில ஒரு மெசேஜ் இருக்கு, அந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஒரு படத்தை வந்து டெலிவர் பண்ணும்போது இல்ல மார்க்கெட் பண்ணும்போது, how do you balance between crossing the line between it being too preachy in your face and then just just being fun? How do you do that?
I don't think I'm trying to, so I'm trying to not make it preachy by ensuring that I'm telling you my story. இது என்னோட கதை. இந்த கதை வந்து உங்களை போய் சேர்ந்ததுன்னா then you have identified with the story ன்னு தான் அர்த்தம். I'm at no point of time saying இது உங்களோட கதையும் தான். என்னோட கதை, நான் என்னோட வளர்ப்பு எப்படி இருந்துச்சு, சவுத் இந்தியன் அப்ரிங்கிங், how it was, what was school like, எப்படி எங்களை வந்து ஆணும் பெண்ணும் வித்தியாசமா வளர்த்திருக்காங்க, ரைட்? And always a boy is fed saying you need to become a man. Every girl is fed saying you need to become a woman. They're preparing us for certain outcomes that are already fixed in society. இப்படிதான் இருக்கணும், women na இப்படிதான் இருக்கணும், men na இப்படிதான் இருக்கணும். அந்த விதத்துல வந்து I'm talking about my experience. And today when a lot of audiences watch it and they say that, oh, this is also my experience, that is them relating to the story. So I'm not talking about their experience first. I'm talking first about my story. At the end of the day, it's a very, I've written it like almost like a story. What happened 30 years back, what happened 30 years later. Right? So it's a story of the last 30 years of my life. And from that perspective, I think it's true to myself. So when it's true to yourself, if that truth is identified by audiences, then it becomes their truth also. And அந்த ட்ரூத்ல நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இருக்கு நம்ம சிரிக்கிறதுக்கு, to be able to look back with looking back at our memories and laughing at it. And once you laugh at it, you will realize, yeah, some things that we do in our culture is quite absurd.
Yeah. I'm sure that once you have started writing it, once you have started like talking about it with your friends and everything, you start observing even more things around you.
Correct.
That's like, ஐயோ இது நம்ம கவனிக்கவே இல்லையே, இது லிஸ்ட்ல போடு. So what is that one thing that you found like so absurd that I didn't even notice this before?
I think என்னோட சின்ன வயசுல வந்து there was this fancy dress competition நிறைய பண்ணுவாங்க. அதுல வந்து they'll dress up a lot of the boys as girls, a lot of the girls as boys, right? And there's therefore that cross-dressing culture, that curiosity of saying, hey, every gender can become every other gender. It's okay. Genders need not be tight boxes that you have to stick to, right? And the fancy dress competition இருக்கட்டும், இல்லனா நிறைய பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஆண் பிள்ளை பிறந்தாங்கன்னா அதுக்கு வந்து பொம்பளை வேஷம் போட்டு போட்டோஸ் எடுப்பாங்க. பொம்பளை பொண்ணு இருந்தா அது வந்து ஆண் லார்ட் கிருஷ்ணாவோட ட்ரெஸ் எல்லாம் போட்டு போட்டோ எடுப்பாங்க, right? So actually gender has been extremely fluid in this cute little way, right? But we have we feel so intimidated to wear women's clothes and vice versa, right? So I think just the notion that in South Indian culture we have this fancy dress competition that is done in schools, we have this cross-dressing curious things. Every little boy சின்ன வயசுல வந்து அவங்க வந்து ஒரு போட்டோ ஷூட் எடுத்திருப்பாங்க பொம்பளை வேஷம் போட்டு. இங்க வந்து they'll put this புள்ளி ஃபேஸ்ல அந்த நசருக்கு போடுவாங்களே, திருஷ்டிக்கு போடுவாங்களே, அது போட்டுட்டு they'll take photos of boys as girls and stuff like that. So I think cross-dressing itself has been in our culture in some fashion, and we haven't been able to understand that. So I think these things are inherently explored in the show, because even in the show I ask audiences saying, hey, can you wear something that belongs to a gender that you don't identify with? So audiences have come in wearing, men have come in wearing their friends or wives or partners dupattas. Men have come in wearing bangles to the show. Men have come in wearing scrunchies to the show. Women have come in wearing ties, women have come in wearing, even sometimes women have come in wearing mustaches.
Oh,
Right? So
okay.
in the room itself, I see audiences pushing the borders of gender and having a good time doing it, not taking their genders too seriously.
And when right now, so far you have done so many shows, right? Have you, in your audience, right, do you see most of them are allies for female, like, you know, let's break the patriarchy, or do you see that people who are like that, like judge and question and you're like, romba pesra, like, you know, the kind of like what do you see? What is your audience like?
I think a lot of allies are bringing in people who are neutral, right? And the people who are resistant to this, I think there are some men who came in saying, நான் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஷோ எதிர்பார்க்கல, பட் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கா இருந்துச்சு நீங்க சொன்னது. யோசிக்கணும், அந்த யோசிக்கணுங்கிற ஒரு தாட்டோட போறாங்க பாருங்க. அதுல இருந்து ஐ திங்க் தட் இஸ் இஃப் தே allow themselves to think, then அவங்க வந்து they have opened their hearts to the show, right? So I think a lot of older people, when they came for the show, they were like, கரெக்ட் பா நீங்க சொல்றது, நாங்க இத பத்தி யோசிக்கவே இல்லை, இப்படி எல்லாம் நம்ம வளர்ந்துட்டோமே, அதெல்லாம் நாங்க யோசிக்கவே இல்லை, யோசிக்க வேண்டிய விஷயம் தான் சொல்லிட்டு I think a lot of people have been open enough to at the end of the show accept saying, yeah, maybe this should change, right? So but a lot of allies are இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா a lot of allies are already loudly talking about gender equality and gender fluidity, right? But there are a lot of allies who are quiet about it, saying, hey, எனக்கு இது சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணும்னு இருக்கு, but எப்படி சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணும்னு தெரியல, right? So they become much more powerful allies when they come to the show and they laugh, right? And therefore, and most importantly, when a room of 500 people, allies recognize each other saying, oh, we are all part of this movement, right? So that sense of sisterhood and brotherhood that forms at the end of a show is, I think, the most powerful thing about the show. It's not about me, it's about people feeling like we are all in this together. Let's make a change, let's do something about it.
So when you were writing this
that
show,
feeling is very powerful.
Yeah, definitely. When you were writing the show, did you feel like நம்ம ஷோ விட்டு போகும்போது like they must be feeling like, you know, some shows we when we do a show, it's like அவங்க சிரிச்சா போதும், ஐயோ சிரிச்சிட்டாங்க, ஐயோ அது நம்ம போதும், you know, sometimes that is the objective. And then there are some times when you are like, your objective is that, you know, I hope they get what I'm saying, or sometimes the objective is like, is there a solution like to this, or am I recruiting more allies? So what was your objective of Unsplaining?
For my first two shows in life, now model rendu show, this is my fourth stand-up comedy special. My first two shows, எப்படியாச்சும் அவங்களை சிரிக்க வைக்கணும்ப்பா, நிறைய சிரிப்பு இருக்கணும். ஒரு 80 minutes ஷோ பண்றோம்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 200 வாட்டி சிரிக்கணும். I used to add jokes every time I edited the show. This is the first show where I said, hey, சிரிச்சா மட்டும் போதாது, சிரிக்க வைக்கிறது வந்து நம்ம நாலாவது ஷோ. I'm very confident today that I can make people laugh, right? That's the belief you have in your craft and your ability of having, I've had experience, I can make people laugh with the thought. But what is the thought? You have to make people, the show has to go in a certain direction, and laughter is the punctuation towards that direction, right? So in the vaati vandu, I have not edited jokes, I've edited thoughts, I've edited content from a perspective of saying, எனக்கு இந்த thought சொல்லணும்னு இருக்கு, I need a joke at the end of this thought. I will find the joke, but I will not change the thought, right? So therefore the show has been edited for the story and the content, rather than saying, oh, I need more jokes here, I need more jokes there. I am not worried anymore as a comedian saying, hey, எனக்கு வந்து, of course it's a stand-up comedy show, people will laugh, I will make sure that they laugh, they have a great time. Yes. But to take them in a certain direction is my job as a storyteller.
Okay. And when you are doing this show, and then people are coming to your show and they are laughing and everything, do you have like a solution at the end, or do you present a solution, or what do you do like at the end, like to like, okay, யோசிச்சு பாருங்க, like how do you end it, a show like this?
I think I don't solve anybody's problem. I can't even solve my own problems. But I definitely leave them with a thought saying, என்னோட லைஃப்ல நான் இந்த மாற்றத்தை கொண்டு வர பாக்குறேன், இதுதான் நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன், ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, ஈஸியா பண்ண முடியல, சின்ன வயசுலயே பண்ணியிருந்தா ஈஸியா இருந்திருக்கும், ஆனா இந்த வயசுல வந்து என்னால எனக்கு இருக்கிற வேர்ல்ட்ல வந்து இத்தினூண்டு மாற்றம் தான் என்னால பண்ண முடியுது, I'm doing this much of a change. இதே பெரிய கஷ்டமா இருக்கு எனக்கு. So I tell them what am I doing differently in my own life. That's all. அது அவங்க லைஃப்ல எடுத்துக்கிட்டு அவங்க வேற மாதிரி பண்றாங்களா, அதே பண்றாங்களா, அது வந்து இட்ஸ் அப் டு தி ஆடியன்ஸ் as such. I tell them saying கஷ்டமா இருக்குப்பா, சின்ன வயசுலயே பண்ணிருந்தா இதெல்லாம் ஈஸியா இருந்திருக்கும். பட் நம்ம மைண்ட மாத்துறது வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான விஷயம். ஒன்ஸ் யுவர் மைண்ட் கெட்ஸ் செட் இன் a certain way, your mind always seeks for resonance. It does not want dissonance. People want always, our mind seeks saying who else is agreeing with us, அவங்களோடயே நம்ம இருந்துப்போம். We always seek people who agree with us, who are looking like us, who think like us, who are speaking the same language as us. Whereas we feel like any kind of person who's different from us is a stranger, is a onion. அவங்கள்ட்ட இருந்து விலகியே இருக்கணும். We should not spend too much time with them. If you don't spend time with people who disagree with you, your mind will not change. And if your mind does not change, your life will be the same for the rest of your life.
You won't be able to grow, basically, you know, as a person.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
So if someone who's coming to the show and listening to this live and they're thinking, man explaining, என்னப்பா பேசுறாங்க இவங்கள, தமிழ்ல பேசுங்க பாருங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்கன்னா, what is unexplained?
Unsplaining is basically ஒரு ஆண் மகன் வந்து அவனுக்கு இந்த சிஸ்டம்ல இருக்கிற எல்லா ஸ்ட்ரெங்க்ஸ் பத்தியும் ஓபனா பேசுறான். ஆண் மகன் எப்பவுமே அழாம எப்பவுமே ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் கிடையாது. We can be vulnerable, we can be weak, we can be allow ourselves to open up our hearts. I think it is a man unflexing his muscle. முக்கியமா. And telling a woman in the world right now saying, எங்களுக்கு புரியுது, இந்த உலகமே உங்களுக்கு அகைன்ஸ்டா தான் நாங்க டிசைன் பண்ணிருக்கோம். இந்த உலகத்துல நீங்க வந்து முதல் வாட்டி நீங்க ஒர்க்குக்கு போகும்போது, முதல் வாட்டி நீங்க வந்து ஒரு பொசிஷன் ஆஃப் பவர் எடுக்கும்போது உங்களுக்கு கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கும். ஏன்னா அந்த சிஸ்டம் உங்களை இட்ஸ் நாட் டிசைன் ஃபார் யூ. பட் நீங்க தைரியமா போங்க. There are allies tomorrow who will support you. There are allies who will understand saying this system has to change. And in the system onna nama vandu maathuvom. And all of this I'm telling you in an 80-minute show which will make you laugh throughout. So come for the laughter, go back with a thought.
Okay, wonderful. So now the starting sollumbodhu I said that, you know, I watched the Great Indian Kitchen and it was like the absolute of patriarchy. So what one movie that you saw that just like blow your mind, like in the level நம்மள இந்த மாதிரி இல்லப்பா, like அந்த லெவலுக்கு வந்து உச்சகட்டம், like patriarchy. What movie has like really like made you think? And also another movie which made you think that wow, nice, they're breaking patriarchy, nice. So two movies.
I think recently when my wife and we were talking about Padayappa, right? You know, I realized that Neelambari is a villain in the movie, right?
Yes.
Neelambari panna thappu enna? She expressed her desire of what she wants in life very, very openly.
Yes.
Right? And the hero's dialogue back to her is, adhigama aasa padra pennu, you know, nalla urupadaave saruthan kedaiyadu. Right? That is such a negative thing to be telling a woman, because today women are told saying, hey, neenga vandu you can't show your desire, you can't express your desire, neenga vandu ungalku enna kadaikiradho adha vechittu sandoshama irukkom neenga life la. Right? My thought to women is no, actually you should want what you want, whatever you want, dhairiyama go for it, go get that in your life. Because nammalukku enna venungiradhu theriyirthukku most people don't know what we want. When you know what you want, go after it. Right? So I think that's the first mansplaining. I've seen Rajinikanth tell Ramya Krishnan's character saying, you know, be a woman, know your place. Romba pesada. கோபப்படாத. கோவலாம் எதுக்கு உனக்கு உனக்கு பவரே தேவையில்லையே. முதல்ல பொண்ணா நடந்துக்கோ. பொண்ணா எப்படி இருக்கும்னு நான் உனக்கு சொல்லி தரேன்.
Exactly.
Mansplaining, அதான்.
Yeah. So what do you think is a movie, right, in the recent time or any time, you know, that you found that it's very liberating, like, oh, nice. It's not like they're trying to force, like, you know, like, oh, the pen, you know, Sugandiram and everything, but you feel like, oh, they have a nice touch to it.
I think pen Sugandiram வந்து நிறைய டைரக்டர்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப ஆக்ரோஷமா ரொம்ப ஆவேசமா சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. எனக்கு பிடிச்ச படம் வந்து காமெடியா சொன்ன விஷயம் வந்து மகளிர் மட்டும்தான்.
Oh my God, yes.
I think
Yes.
Revati, Urvashi and Rohini ma'am. It's the
Yeah.
most enjoyable film where they take the pants
Definitely.
off that Nasser's boss character and they've done it completely through comedy.
Yeah.
Right? And it is such a liberating film. இப்போ கூட அது அப்படியே நீங்க ரீமேக் பண்ணா கூட it will be such a powerful film. அது வந்து ரொம்ப ரசிச்சு என்ஜாய் பண்ணி of course the combination of Kamal Haasan plus Crazy Mohan அதெல்லாம் இருக்கு. மகளிர் மட்டும் இல்ல. But the three women being superheroes, like they're heroes in the film, அது வந்து இப்போ வந்து இந்த SNL cast, whether it's Kate McKinnon or Amy Poehler or Amy Schumer, all these people are getting to do women's sisterhood hero movies, right? I think the last time we did that significantly in Tamil was Magalar Mattum.
Yeah. You know, when I was about to ask you this question in the morning, when I was preparing the questions, I was like, the thing, in my mind, I wrote down Magalir Mattum. Like, because every month, at least once, I'll watch the movie. It's like so liberating on different.
Absolutely.
Just, I think that some people have like a notion that, you know, romba vande like what do you say, like romba akrushamma nama nindu poradi, like, you know, that is basically what it means. But no, it's basically just speaking your mind, saying no when you don't want to do something, and going after what you want. That is literally it. That's it. It's nothing major than what it is, you know. So I also feel like some people are getting it wrong when they're trying to make this woman liberation movie, but I also feel like there are a lot of people getting it right. And you know, my movie, female liberation movies and all this, you know, even back then, I feel like even though men wrote it, I still think that some people did get it right. And I also feel that even though some women are writing some movies right now, they are still getting it wrong. So it really depends on, you know, how you look at it and how you do it. Yeah. So anyway, coming back to your show, you talked about the dress code, right? So that thing is going to be for Singapore as well, right?
Yeah, yes, definitely, yes. August 27th, when the audience is coming to watch, I want everybody to wear one item of clothing that is not belonging to a gender that you identify with. Right? So, I think that will be very powerful to show a sense of allyship with all genders in the system, saying that I'm not taking my gender very seriously. I'm going to take your gender more seriously. I'm going to see and listen to another gender before I talk about my own gender.
Okay. And when is your show going to be in Singapore, and how can someone get a ticket?
Exactly 2 weeks from now, August 27th is the show. Sistikla ella tickets irukku. You can go to karthikkumar.live and you'll get all the tour information. karthikkumar.live, or of course Sistikla tickets irukku, and there are only about 70 tickets left for the Singapore show. So kandipa neenga varingana இப்பவே போய் வாங்குங்க, and I promise you an entire room full of people who want to have a great laugh, and I promise you laughter, and I promise you a room of people who are creating a safe space for gender equality.
Awesome. You got me at laughter. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to share with my audience and your audience before we end off today's session?
I think I want you to come for the show. So please, let's definitely meet at some point of time, and I'd love to have a cup of coffee and just talk.
Awesome. We will definitely do that. Okay, I'm so excited to see your show. I've never, to be very frank, is that I'm a comedian, but I've never been to a stand-up comedy show. And it's going to be the first one.
Break பண்ணுங்க.
It's the first time. This is an opportunity for me. I wanted to go somewhere that, you know, I'm comfortable, and, you know, it's like I don't know which one to go to. So this came in my way. So perfect.
Brilliant. And I hope that you will also push, like I've seen all of your sketches. I want you to do more talk comedy. I want you to do more live also. So நீங்களும் லைவுக்கு வாங்க, and that will be a different kind of fun. கண்டிப்பா. So வந்து பாருங்க, let's talk after.
Okay, definitely. Good luck to you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, see you soon. Bye, darling.